Alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. We're continuing with the topic of how to understand and benefit from the mistakes of the companions. And we're talking about what happened during the Caliphate of Uthman. And as we discussed yesterday, the mistake that Uthman made was when the lies and rumors against him began, what he should have done was try to stomp them out immediately. He should have tried to prove the lies that were made against him. But instead, he chose to ignore them, thinking that the people would just get tired of listening. But when you find yourself in a position of leadership or a position of power, you can't afford to have people circulate rumors against you. Because if you don't address them, the people will believe those rumors to be true. And then you will have what we have happening here with Umar, a great sedition. And we talked about how finally Uthman did allow the other companions to convince him to go send out some investigators to prove the rumors to all be lies, but it was too late by then. Even though they came back and proved that nothing was true, it was too late because the people's minds were basically made up. And we talked about how Uthman made Hajj that year. And he said, if anyone else has any grievances against me, meet me at Hajj and bring the proofs of your grievances with you. And they came. Egypt, which was the country in which Ibn Saba and the rest of his supporters were living in, they sent a great army, but they were cowards because they had no proof. So they did not approach or confront Uthman. So Uthman then went back to Medina thinking everything was okay. And what we're going to talk about today is what happened after this, after he went back to Medina, after the investigation. Well, when he went back to Medina, things remained quiet for some time. And then the rumors began up again. Medina became a hotbed of intrigue and unrest. Now remember, guys, before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, he told the companions that one of the signs of the last hour will be that there will be a lot of bloodshed right there in Medina. He said the companions would turn against each other, and a lot of fitna will occur from out of Iraq. And he told the companions, if you live to see these days happen, try to stay out of it. Don't get involved in the fitna. Well, the fitna had begun. What happened was Muhammad, who was the son of Abu Bakr, and Ammar ibn Yasir, they came back from Egypt to Medina. And Amir ibn al-As joined them. And they once again began a flood of propaganda, a flood of lies against Uthman. And they were telling the people of Medina things that were not true about what was going on in Egypt. They accused the governor of Egypt. Remember, Amir ibn al-As was replaced. But he had bitter grievances about that. So he and Muhammad and Ammar, they began to accuse the new governor of tyranny and oppression. He tried to make the people believe that Abdullah ibn Saud imposed taxes on the people that were too high and oppressive. And remember, what was Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr's problem? He was the son of Abu Bakr. He was mad because Uthman refused to make him a governor. So he still kept running around crying about how Uthman was not qualified to be the caliph, that the caliph should be Ali. So they came from Egypt to Medina, bringing more propaganda, bringing more rumors, stirring up the companions. And Ammar, let me tell you a little bit more about Ammar ibn Yasir. Remember, Ammar ibn Yasir, he was the emissary that Uthman sent to Egypt to prove in Egypt to not be true. However, when Ammar got to Egypt, he ended up joining up with Ibn Saba and his group. Why? Because everyone knew from the beginning Ammar was always a supporter of Ali. He was one of the ones that felt that Ali should have been caliph long time ago. He should have been caliph after the Prophet died. He should have been caliph long before Uthman. So Ammar always had that position. So he resented the fact that Uthman was the caliph before Ali. And so this is why he had grievances with Uthman. And why Uthman sent him to Egypt when everybody knew that Ammar was never a supporter of his, no one knows. And some people say that perhaps Uthman did it because he thought by sending someone who everyone knew did not like him, maybe that person would be more objective. But whatever the case was, when Ammar came back to Medina, he did not meet up with Uthman. Instead, he became active and joined forces with Muhammad, the son of Abu Bakr, and Amir ibn al-As, creating all type of fitna in Medina. And what, again, they kept accusing Uthman of nepotism. They accused him of nepotism, of hiring his relatives. Now, Marwan, he was his secretary. Also, Uthman hired another cousin to be the superintendent over the marketplace. And he paid them from the state's money. Uthman also gave gifts to Zubair ibn Awam and Talha, the son of Ubaidah. Now, all of these were eminent companions. Talha was an eminent companion. So was Zubair. Okay, but anyway, anything that Uthman did, you know, the people who were against him played with that. They criticized him and tried to use it to turn the people of Medina against him. Okay? And as the criticism grew out of hand, Ali decided to speak with Uthman. And I'm going to read to you what's been translated into English as to what Ali said to Uthman. He said, Uthman, I have been sent by the people to you to address you. Many things are being said against you, but I do not know how I should tell you what they are saying. I cannot think of any matter about which I can advise you, nor do I know of anything more than what you know. You are aware of what's being said about you. How should I give you any information when I am not better informed than you are about what's going on, nor anything else that has been said? We are all nothing in front of you. You have seen the Holy Prophet Muhammad. You've heard him speak. You were close to him. You lived with the companionship of him. Neither Abu Bakr nor Umar were superior to you in any way. In relation to the Prophet, you were closer to him than the rest of us. The position by you was gained by no one else. So under your leadership, the community has come to be faced with some serious problems. O leader, ask Allah's help in solving these problems. I need to offer you no advice. Take heed and remember that the closeness to Allah is a leader who is just and a leader who upholds the trust of Allah as revealed by the Prophet Muhammad and discards all that was discarded by him. Remember that the worst man on earth is a leader who is cruel and one who has gone astray himself and makes others go astray, who revives the discarded vices and discards virtues. All these things you already know. Right and wrong are far apart. I have myself heard the Prophet say that on the day of judgment, an evil leader will be friendless and sent to the hellfire. He will revolve around it like a grinder and then be plunged into the bottomless pit. I want to remind you of Allah's powers and Allah's revenge. Allah, the murdered leader, for the flock. For it is said that one of the leaders will be killed who will open the door to dissension within the community. Things would come to such a pass that the Muslims would be divided into various sections and falsehood would gain ascendancy. And remember, what he was speaking about here was the hadith that the Prophet said before he died. He said, one of you will be a leader and will be killed. And when you are killed, this will open the door to division amongst my companions, and different sections will, different sects will break off. That was that hadith of the Prophet. And the Prophet was speaking about Uthman in that hadith, that Uthman would be killed, and that's when all the companions will break up into different sects and groups. Okay, so this is what Ali told Uthman. You know, he basically was telling him, I can't give you no advice, but listen at one thing he said: you were closer to the Prophet than the rest of us. And this is something that all the other companions seem to have forgotten. Uthman was better than Ali. He was better than all the rest. The Prophet said, the best of this nation after me is Abu Bakr. And then the best of this nation after him is Umar. And then the best of this nation after him is Uthman. And they all seem to have forgotten that. Uthman was closer to the Prophet than even Ali was. He was the best of this nation. But the simple fact that he was kind, and he didn't speak out like Umar did and like Abu Bakr did, you know, he gave people the benefit of the doubt. He was more passive. The people are walking all over him. And that's what the Prophet meant in that hadith when he said, one of you will be killed terribly, will meet a horrible death, and then a horrible death. But they seem to forget he was the best left on this earth. It's really sad. And when Ali told Uthman all this, Uthman listened, and then he replied. He said, Ali, I am grateful to you for having come and spoken with me. I have always looked to you to be my best support. You are a good judge of men and matters, and you are known for your perception of the truth. But I expected that in this crisis, you would be able to recognize the truth and take measures to stop the false propaganda that is poisoning the atmosphere. But instead, you have talked in the same vein as the malcontent people are. You have insinuated that as a leader, I have been cruel and tyrannical, and that the punishment for me is hellfire. You see that? And he's right. You know, he's telling Ali, I expect more from you. You admit that I am the next best of this nation left before Ali. Okay? Allah says Uthman is before. But Uthman's telling him, why are you not addressing it? Why are you not helping me to stop all this? And then Uthman continued. He said, this is uncharitable on your part. You have been apparently led away by the false propaganda that is being carried by some people who have their own axes to grind. In my speech when I made Hajj, I dealt with all the allegations that were against me. And all the people gathered corroborated what I had to say. But no one had the courage to stand up and say anything to the contrary. It is unfortunate that in Medina, further propaganda is now being made. And I have pondered over all what the people say, and I will talk about this further in the Prophet's mosque. So here you can see Uthman was hurt. He was very hurt. He was very hurt. He let Ali know, yes, you know, but why aren't you defending me? You should be speaking out for me, defending me. You know, because after Uthman, then comes Ali. Okay? But Ali was not speaking out for him. So what happened then was the next Friday, After Juma, Uthman addressed all the people who had gathered in the Prophet's mosque. He reminded them that he did not ask to be the leader, that this was a position imposed upon him by Allah. He reminded the people how he was rich and he was not in need of anything, but he accepted the position for the sake of Allah. He also reminded the people of the good things he has done since he's been the leader. And he asked the people to stop the fitna and join together and become one ummah, one nation, as they should be for the sake of Allah. But did this stop the situation? Did this resolve it? Sadly. And as we're going to see tomorrow, it just got worse. Even though there was nothing that could be proven against Uthman, many of the companions and the people forgot that he was the third best of this nation. Even though he tried reminding them, Allah put me in this position. I didn't choose it. I didn't choose it for myself. I got money. I'm rich. I don't need this. I don't need the power. I don't need the fitna. I'm doing it for the sake of Allah. But the people still, they allow Shaitan and his allies to play against him. And we'll stop right here for today. Tomorrow we'll speak about what happened yesterday. What happened. We're going to speak about what happened after this. Uthman ended up meeting a tragic ending. And we're going to speak about what happened. So we'll stop right here for today. And again, this is not for you guys to judge anyone. Ali was a human being just like you and me. All of these companions were human beings just like you and me. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we allow people with big mouths to get to us. Sometimes we allow ourselves to fall into traps that Shaitan spins for us. And then we end up regretting it later. So this is not for us to speak badly about Ali for not speaking up. It's for us to learn from his mistake. And Ali ended up learning from this mistake. He learned from this. And he paid the price of this. Okay, so we'll stop right here for today. Tomorrow we'll pick up. If you guys have any questions.